Hello, this is my review of the Majohn P139 fountain pen. This pen came out about 10 months ago, and I was immediately attracted to it, but I guess I was going through one of my no pen buy periods, and also I just wasn't sure about the pen because it is not one of the more inexpensive of the Chinese pens. This pen goes for about 58 US dollars. And so I put off getting it. I didn't forget about it. I just thought, I don't need this pen right now. Well, I've been convinced by reviews from Une Fontaine des Plumes and Shack MD and fountain pen therapy. So I decided that I would go ahead and get this pen. And one reason that it took me so long to decide to order it was that I did not know whether to get the orange and black or the white version of this pen. Everyone said that the white was more attractive because the material of the pen body has a sparkle to it. But I just kept going back and forth between the two of them, and I decided that I wanted the orange barrel pen. I thought it looked better with the nib. So here is the pen, and I'm sure you are all very familiar with this pen by now, either from personally having it or through the many reviews. So we'll just take a brief look here at this attractive clip, the slightly conical cap finial, the smooth clip ring, and the nice wide cap band, and the etching on the back of the cap that says Moon Man. I like this cap band. And then we have this accent ring here at the end finial. The cap comes off and has 2 turns, just over 2 turns. And this is what makes this pen so special. It's a number 8 size nib, and isn't it pretty? I love that sun design engraving. I think that is quite beautiful. And below that it says Majohn Expedition, and I got the medium nib. And the other special element about this pen is that it does come with an ebonite feed. So I'm sure that accounts for the increased cost of this pen, the number 8 size nib combined with the ebonite feed. The grip section is on the girthy side. We have a nice ink window. The threads are very smooth. The grip section has a flare out to prevent your fingers from slipping onto the nib. And this is how the pen fits in hand. It is a girthy pen. And it is actually a longer pen than I would have thought based on photos and reviews that I've watched. Let's see if the cap posts. I would say no, because it is directly on the piston knob, and it's a little bit hard to get off if you do post it. And it is a piston filler pin. It was a little bit tight to get started. And there is the piston. And it has a very good range of motion. Oftentimes with piston fillers, you don't get to see the end of the piston come all the way down to the ink window, the bottom of the ink window. I would say that's very good. And the motion is smooth. Now, I am not going to disassemble this pen. I don't do that, but the reviews that I mentioned that impressed me and caused me to decide to purchase this pen are reviews where the pen reviewer does disassemble the pen. Fontaine de Plume, Shack MD, Doodlebud, they all disassemble the pen and show that the pen does have a brass piston, which is very impressive, and again contributes to the increased cost of this pen. It's a very attractive pen. For the writing sample, I have inked the pen with Diamine Autumn Oak. To ink this pen, since it is a piston filler, you will need either a very deep bottle of ink and also one that has a very wide mouth on the bottle, or else you will need an ink miser, which I do not have, but what I do have is these little disposable plastic cups, which do the job just as well. And this is why I do not like the orange toned inks. They shade very light, and I don't like that. It makes me feel as if the nib is starved for ink, which this nib is not. The ink is flowing perfectly. It's just this ink. The nib is very smooth. There's almost no feedback. I think you can see that there is no problem with the ink flow. It's very wet right here. The nib is a little bouncy, but it is far from being a flex nib. The biggest adjustment for me in writing with this pen is getting used to or accommodating to the very girthy grip section. It's quite large, which it has to be to accommodate that size 8 nib. The amount of bounce in that nib is another thing to become accustomed to. It definitely feels different when you're writing with it. No hard starts. No skips. It's very nice. Although I'm not really a big fan of this color ink. For those of you who have not seen a disassembly of the P139, I will enclose links in my description box to the videos that I feel like best display that process. So that is my look at the Majohn P139. I really like this pen. It's another way of exploring all of the different aspects of the fountain pen hobby. Thank you for watching.